I heard Hue Jackson say something that I thought was really interesting and that will benefit Grambling for years to come. We're going to talk about it right after the bumper. Stay tuned. What is up, everybody? What is up, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. here with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and notification bell because we upload every single day. Now, you guys know I talk about on this channel Grambling a lot because I'm very interested to see what they're going to look like this fall with all the transfers that they brought in. It's Coach Hue Jackson's first year as the head man. And I just love the G-men. I love what they're doing. I love the players that they brought in, both from the high school and transfer route. And I just can't wait to see what they are going to do. And one thing that I've talked about on this channel before is how Grambling is utilizing the little resources that they have and going and snagging kids from California. I think that is just very smart, very innovative, and going to pay off for them really well. But there's something else that Grambling is doing really good, and that may even pay off way better. It's not, I don't know if it's going to have an immediate, well, it is going to have an immediate impact, but it's going to pay off tremendously throughout Hue Jackson's throughout his tenure at Grambling, and that is picking up big time prospects from the state of Louisiana. See, I don't know if you guys understand how good the football is, not just in the South, of course, but in the state of Louisiana. And the Grambling fans, I might be beating a dead horse, of course, you guys know, but just the country at large. If we're just talking about the United States, what are some of the places that you think of when you think of football? Obviously, you think of, or as far as states, right? Obviously, you think of Florida and Texas and California. You know what I mean? Like those, Georgia, obviously. There's the great, really good football players. And then, somewhere down the line, obviously the other southern states, South Carolina is full of talent. Mississippi's got some great talent. But I don't know per capita if there's too many states with better prospects just for its relative size, right? Than Louisiana. Louisiana is a state full of really high-level football players, like the highest of high-level football players. We've seen it play out in the drafts with all the kids from LSU that get picked up at the NFL. 9 times out of 10, a kid that's drafted from LSU is from the state of Louisiana. Like 9 times out of 10. You know what I mean? I think Derek Stingley wasn't this year. He was the number 3 overall pick. But a whole lot of them other boys were from the state of Louisiana. And I want to play for you. What's brought me to this tweet is I continue to see all of the guys that are transferring into Grambling from these high-level colleges, Arizona, LSU, Arkansas, that have these New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Louisiana roots. Right? Dante Starks, linebacker that transferred in. He's from LSU. He's from New Orleans. Jamal Houston, I've had him on the show, a JUCO wide receiver that played out in California. He's from New Orleans. Devin Bush, the transfer from Arkansas. He's from New Orleans. Mr. Knighton from McNeese State. He's from Baton Rouge. And the latest guy that I saw was Jabbar Triplett from Arizona. He's from Baton Rouge. These guys. And so what is going to be critical, and I'm going to play for you a clip from Hue that also, spurned this video, made me go ahead and make this, because this is going to be critical. If he's able to not just continue his connections with the West Coast, getting those guys from California, that's amazing. But to get a pipeline in Louisiana, some of those blue chip prospects, as we call them, the high level 4 and 5 stars, and even the high 3 stars from Louisiana, you're going to have a really good football team. You're going to have a really good football team. Let me play for you this clip from Coach Hue Jackson about this. This was posted on the Grambling State Football actual Twitter account. Let me know if you can hear it. Hit that thumbs up button. Also, let me make sure everything is good. And let's take a listen to Coach Hue when talking about recruiting right there in his own state.
We're here for a reason because we want to reclaim what's really ours. We should own the I-20 corridor, as you just mentioned, and we're going to do everything we can to do that. But in order to do that, we need all the coaches and all the players here, because since I've been here, all I've heard is that we don't recruit the area. Well, we're here. And we're going to be here, and we're going to plant our flag here, and we're challenging all the coaches and all the student athletes that are on the I-20 to come on out here and see what kind of staff we have, come and see what we're trying to accomplish, and come be a part of something great. We're here for a reason.
And let me show you why that's critical. Because Louisiana has a boatload of high-level players in their state. For Coach Hue to make it a mission, his coach's mission, his staff's mission, to keep players in the state of Louisiana and to keep some of the best prospects right there to go to Grambling, that's going to pay off an extreme dividend down the road. Obviously, you want to continue to have a national recruiting base, but recruiting is a lot easier. Especially for HBCUs with small resource budgets, with very, very small budgets. Recruiting budgets are like, in the 5 digits. Like 15, 20,000, you know what I mean? Like less than $100,000 on a recruiting budget is tough. Less than 50,000 in most cases. Hell, less than 20,000 in a lot of cases. But Grambling and Southern have a relative advantage because there is a ton of high-level prospects in their state. Everybody's state can't say the same. The Alabama schools can't say the same. Mississippi has some really good players. But there's more in Louisiana, percentage-wise. There's more in Louisiana. The Florida schools can say that, fam, that's just a recruiting advantage when you're able to go pluck a guy from a high school that's down the street, and you can go to state championship game. That's why Coach Hue was his first week on the job. He was at the state championships because there was a ton of players out there, like future NFL players on those fields. A lot of them. For a state that's this big, Louisiana, they produce a lot of NFL dudes. Like a whole lot. I want to show you this chart, right? And so this chart, it's the most updated I could find. It says all 50 states in DC ranked by 2020 blue chip recruits. Now, blue chip is what they're saying 4 and 5 stars, right? The ones you expect are at the top, the Floridas, the Texas, the Georgias, the Californias. But look who is right there in the top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there at number 5 is little Louisiana. Coming over states like Tennessee, over states like Alabama, over states like Mississippi, Ohio, DC, places we think about football. Louisiana, with 4% of their high school athletes or football players, 4%. 16, think about this. As far as blue chip recruits, Louisiana had 16 in comparison to California, who had 30. California is 10 times, as far as population, it's 10 times the size of Louisiana. There's 8 million people in the Los Angeles area alone. It fills LA County damn near fills up Louisiana's entire state. And they only had 14 more guys. That tells you, and those are just the 4 and 5 stars. We're not even talking about the high level 3 stars and guys that can just flat out ball no matter how many stars they got. You got guys like that everywhere. But do you get what I'm saying? And so if Coach Hue is able to do what he wants to do, which is lock up that corridor. Now, I can't speak on the previous regime and how they did recruiting guys from the area. But I'm looking at this transfer list, and I'm looking at New Orleans, Baton Rouge, New Orleans. And I'm like, if he can start to pluck, not just continue to pluck guys from that area to come back home and play at Grambling, because that's what they all say. Anytime a guy from one of these programs transfers to Grambling from an Arizona or a LSU or Arkansas, they always say, I'm coming home. I talked to Jamal Houston, and he was like, man, I can't wait to score my first touchdown in the Bayou Classic, my first touchdown in my hometown of New Orleans. That means something to them. And if you are able to not only get those guys as transfers, but start snagging a couple of them out of high school? Because there's plenty of them. I mean, there's plenty of them. 4% of your high school football players in the state of Louisiana are blue chip prospects. And that's just according to the recruiting rankings. And there's more that ain't ranked as high that are just flat out dogs. Now, this is based off 2020, of course. So, it fluctuates, but it's about this number about every year. That 4 to 5 to 6%. It's about that same percentage for Louisiana. They consistently rank in the top 5 for a state that's this big. But it's a whole lot of dogs. A whole lot of dogs for a state that's this big. That could be huge. We could be talking about a sleeping giant with the Grambling, with the G-men down at exit 81, the Grambling Tigers. And the same can be said for Southern. The same can be said, for Coach Dooley and the Southern Jaguars. The same can be said for them. I'm only using Grambling because of the recent transfers that I've seen and that video that we played of Coach Hue saying, we want to lock this up. We want to put a cage around the state of Louisiana because there are some dogs here. And that could shake up the SWAC. If he's able to snag a couple more, continue to snag the dogs out of the transfer portal from the area that out of high school decided to go somewhere else and it didn't work out, and snag a couple of those guys straight out of high school while continuing. This is a lot to ask for now. It's not an easy task. But while keeping his California connection, we could be talking about a monster down at exit 81. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, my name is JeffLightsyJr with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JLightsy7. That's Instagram and Twitter at JLightsy7. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out. And let me know what you think about Coach Hue and locking up the state of Louisiana. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Peace.